Happy Thanksgiving to all, and my gift to you is my top running backs for the 2022 NFL draft class. Now, I've found this list, I'm constantly changing, I'm moving guys up and down, but currently this is what it's looking like. Could change in a week, who knows? But what's crack-a-lackin'? It's your boy Broshmo, just in case you did not know so. Go ahead, become a bro and subscribe. Leave that thumbs up if you enjoy the content. And as always, let me know what you think in the comment section below. The voice, it's slowly getting better. It's slowly getting better. I'm drinking lots of fluids. That's good. Let's go ahead. Get into some of the guys. I have his returners, Kenny McIntosh out of Georgia. I was a big mark for him at the beginning of the year. He kind of fell down the depth chart. Probably has to come back, but I really love his skill set. Ricky Person Jr., the other running back there at NC State. I think he's likely to come back just because I think Bam Knight's probably coming out in this class. Kevin Harris, he's turned it on as of late for South Carolina, but I don't think it's enough for him to come out. And then Louisiana, I think it's just the Raging Cajuns, Chris Smith. Man, they just love using like three running backs. He kind of got lost early on in the season of that rotation. But I still think there's a lot of skill there. But I don't think it comes out in this class. Let's go ahead and get into it. Number 10, Brian Robertson Jr. at Alabama. This cat, he's a big boy, 6'1", 225. He's been a backup for the last 4 seasons, never eclipsed over 500 yards in any single season until this year. He is currently 6th in the nation in forced missed tackles. No surprise, the guy's built like a boulder, man. He has a very physical and violent running style, thick arms and thighs. Just, it gives defenders like nightmares, man. He's either gonna shove you down or run right over you. He has no real speed though. No real speed, no real receiving upside. This isn't not the second coming of Najee Harris by any means. His longest run of the season this year went for 24 yards. Before they went and faced like the worst team in the nation in New Mexico State, and he ripped off a 63-yarder in there. But even through his career, his longest run coming into the season was only 37 yards. He's never going to be a home run threat. That's not why you're getting this guy. This is a guy that's going to be a constant chain mover. That's who he is. Real good cat. Real good cat. And I've kind of come around to him this year. To be fair, early on, like before the season started, I was low on him just because we hadn't seen a lot of him. But I mean, that's good too. There's not a lot of mileage on his tank. All right, number 9. Kennedy Brooks. Still high on Kennedy Brooks, man. What can I say? I love him. He opted out of the 2020 season, but from 2018 to 2019, he had the highest rate of 10-plus yard runs. He had 88 forced missed tackles during that time on 274 carries. That was on par with guys like Najee Harris and whatnot. So, yeah, he was looking pretty good. He has 51 forced missed tackles this season. The thing about him, he's a one-speed athlete, and it's not that fast. But he's elusive. This guy shrugs off contact like nothing. It's child's play to him. He's a very disciplined runner. He's a very hard runner. You're hardly going to see this guy caught in the backfield. There's a little receiving upside with him, but it's his pass protection. That's probably one of the most impressive things about him in the receiving game. He might be the best pass protector in this class. But I do like me Kennedy Brooks. On to number 8, Zonovan Knight. Bam Knight out of NC State. The guy runs in a predominantly inside zone blocking scheme. However, he's very shifty. He's a very patient back. That's why you see that you see at times he constantly bounces out to the outside for big gains. Probably one of my favorite qualities about a running back is how are their feet? Like, do they just keep moving? And this guy's a churner, man. His feet never stop moving. I like it. He has good balance, but I think if he strengthened his lower body a little bit, either that or lowering his pad level because he runs a bit high in between the rushing lanes, and it kind of like knocks him. It makes him a bigger target, makes him easier to knock down. But he's never eclipsed, or he's only eclipsed 20 carries in a game once in his career. That was against Clemson this year, I believe. Let me verify that. Yeah, it was against Clemson this year. And he only went for 3.4 yards a carry. But still, the guy's been really good. 42 forced missed tackles on the season. He runs your basic running back route tree. Sweens, screens, baby. Sweens and screens. And he's cleaned up the drops after having 4 his freshman season. So, improvement as a receiving back. I like to see it. And then at number 7, I got Jerrion Ealy. Jerrion Ealy, quite frankly, is moving all over this list for me because I love what he can do with the ball in his hands. It's just he doesn't often get the ball in his hands. He's not going to be a 20-touch guy in the NFL. I think he's only touched the ball like 20-plus times once this year. Then it was against Texas A&M. And to be fair, he ripped off. He went off for 160 yards in that game. But he's just so jittery, man. He's so hard to put a hand on. He has 38 forced missed tackles on 104 carries this season. But, like, what's special about this guy is what he can do just, again, with the ball in his hands, whether it's as a ball carrier or a pass catcher. He plays a lot stronger than his size, 5'9", 190, or no, what is he, 5'8", 190. But this guy is just, he bounces off contact. He's like a little pinball, man. One of the most versatile backs in this class. Also very crisp route runner. He has 12 forced missed tackles on 61 receptions. But yeah, I mean, I'm a big fan of this guy's skill set. It's just how highly draftable is that skill set? And I'd say it's about early day 3. So got him here at 7. At number 6, I got James Cook out of Georgia. If you didn't know, now you know. It's Dalvin Cook's brother. This cat is fast, man. This year's his first time with this is the first year he's gone over 50 carries. He's currently at 82. He has, like, his top speed, extremely fast. He gets to it very quickly. He's a very smooth and fluid athlete. He never gets too bouncy in the backfield. He's a very decisive runner. Once he sees it, he goes, man. He accelerates real fast. Now, he's going to be also one of the premier receiving backs in this class. He has 13 forced missed tackles on 57 career receptions. And he displays fairly good route tree, very soft hands as well. I think he needs to add some weight, though. Get closer to that 200-pound threshold, because I think adding that to his frame will go a long way, man. Like, he's very light on his feet, but he gets moved. Like, when I say light on his feet, typically light on your feet, it's a real good thing. But also, if you take it to, like, just take it to its furthest, like, extreme. Like, he is easily taken off his feet by contact, man. The slightest bit of contact. I think just, maybe it was last week. I may think it was against Tennessee, though. Maybe it was a week before. But he goes into the end zone, but, like, he almost has his head taken off from, like, the smallest little bit of contact. It's woof. But, man, this guy's a home run threat. Big fan of his game. Number 5, Jerome Ford, man. He's a former transfer from Alabama. Transferred to Cincinnati in 2019. I love this guy's patience and his vision. And he's doing this behind a very bad Cincinnati offensive line. He's real light on his jump cuts, and he accelerates very very well through the whole through the run-in lane. Unlike most power backs, this guy's got legit breakaway speed. Currently, unfortunately, like this guy had good pace, and then he kind of went down to injury for what I think it was like a week or two, and it kind of slowed him down. He came back in the Navy game and just really hasn't been the same type of back. Which is kind of weird, but he's currently 22nd in the nation in forced missed tackles. Before that, he was 11th. He was on pace. He was on pace of being like a top 10 in terms of forced missed tackles, which is typically the stat you want to pull from. That's very translatable to the NFL. But he was on a similar pace in 2020. The guy really relishes contact more so around the red zone. But if he's outside anywhere else on the field, he's looking for the big play threat. So typically he's trying to avoid tacklers there. Fumbles were a big concern in 2020 though. He had 3 in 2020 and that was on 73 carries. He had 3 fumbles. It looks like he's gotten better about that this year. He only has 1 fumble on 161 carries. Is it solved? Perhaps. But I don't want to forget about 2020. Let's not act like that didn't happen. All right. I like this guy. He's got good like center of gravity, 5'11", 220. That's a very good size for an NFL back. Number 4, I got Isaiah Spiller, Texas A&M. Very powerful back with a good lower body strength. He's actually, despite being he's currently listed at 215. He's very light on his feet for being a power back. While yes, pound and ground is kind of his thing around the line of scrimmage, he gets that second level and he does have the ability to kind of shimmy and shake defenders off. Real nice. It'd be nice to see him. He's another one similar to Zonovan Knight, to see him get a little bit lower when taking on contact. There are times where he runs a bit too high. Now, he doesn't have breakaway speed. That'll never be a theme for him. He only broke off 8 carries for 20-plus yards on 188 carries in 2020, and it's about the same this year. Like, he's ripped off 31 runs for 10-plus yards, but then that drops down to like 18 on 15-plus, or 18 carries that go for 15-plus yards, and then it's around 12 for 20-plus. So there is that, but let's not act like he hasn't ripped off some big runs this year. He does have gains of like 46, 67, 44, 48, but I don't think it's something in the NFL that he's going to be doing consistently. His drops and fumbles have been a non-factor this season. Love to see it, but again, you don't want to forget about it. He had 4 drops in 2020, 3 fumbles, and then in 2019 he had 2 fumbles, 2 drops. So again, you don't want to forget the past, but only 1 fumble this year, no drops. Runs the standard running back route tree though, so I mean, I don't know how active he is going to be as a receiving back at the next level. Zach Charbonnet out of UCLA, formerly of Michigan, though. Charbonnet is currently 7th in the nation in forced missed tackles, and he actually has the least amount of carries among the top 7. He's a very physical and powerful north-south runner. There's not a lot of nonsense in his running. He's going north-south. He doesn't even think about east or west. You know, he's going forward. He's moving on up. But this guy effortlessly just eats or charges through contact like it was nothing. You go back at the beginning of the year, that Hawaii game that everyone was like, oh, watch out for this cat. And then he did it against LSU. Kind of big. I know a lot of people want to clown on LSU, but they still got some legit ballers on that squad. especially in the front seven. Oh, nice acceleration when he sets his feet, when he decides to make his move upfield. Real good. He does a real good job of getting to the second level. He has 27 runs of 10-plus yards. He's not going to be the most explosive or subtle back, but a guy with his skill set just typically translates well to the NFL, translates to success. 6'1", 220, pretty decent size. So, yeah, I got Charbonnet here at a 3. Number 2, Breece Hall at Iowa State. Only got 2 backs with second-round grades. You could probably guess who I got. Number 1. But Hall currently 4th in the nation in forced missed tackles with 70. Very sturdy base. Shows off really good contact balance. Not a lot of people talk about Hall's explosiveness, but I think he is exceptionally explosive. Dude can cut it on a dime. He's shown to be a big play threat throughout his career. He's one of the most... He's one of the backs that's hit the most behind the line of scrimmage, just because at Iowa State offensive line, it's not a good run blocking line. His offensive line does a horrendous job of keeping this guy clean before he gets to the line of scrimmage. And honestly, that's gonna hurt. It's gonna hinder his production. But he's been able to fight through it. I mean, dude, look at this cat. Over the last 2 seasons, man, he has 1,200 yards or more running. I mean, 17 touchdowns this year. Disgusting. He runs your basic running back route tree, swings and screens. Gotta love it. Not a knock, just throwing that out there. But yeah, I'm a big fan of Breece Hall. You should be too. And let's go ahead and talk about Kenneth Walker, Michigan State. This cat's been lighting up the nation. Transfer from Wake Forest, leads the nation in forced missed tackles at 86. Typically, that is a big indicator of success at the NFL level. Just look at Javonte Williams. He was the leader in forced missed tackles. He ended up being the 3rd back off the board, and he's been very productive for the Broncos this year. The guy's got great contact balance in Kenneth Walker, that is. And he has enough wiggle to shake defenders. I love this dude's patience and vision as a runner. That Spartan Russian offense, their concepts, they're very translatable to the NFL. So you love that. This guy's going to be basically tailor-made, ready to come in and contribute almost immediately. The combination of power and explosiveness, he's got good bursts. It's going to just do good things at the next level. Receiver, total question mark. He just hasn't done a lot of receiving at the next level, or not at the next level, in college. So I assume you could just assume this guy's got your standard running back route tree, swing, screens. We kind of assumed the same thing with Jonathan Taylor coming out. And look, it's worked out for him. I mean, he had 1 receiving touchdown against the Bills, 4 rushing, but he did have that receiving. So Kenneth Walker, he's my top. Couple of guys that just missed the list here. I don't know why I did it like that. But Rachaad White out of Arizona State. I'm a big fan of that cat's game. Kyron Williams, I know a lot of people love him. I still got my gripes with him about him in terms of drops and fumbles, man. They're a big problem with him. But he was close. He was like 13th currently. So I just want to mention those guys because I know you're going to ask about them in the comment section. And when I see you ask about them, I'm going to be like, watch the whole video. But until next time, you be easy, my friends. Later.